Hello everybody, welcome to this prediction video on the Match channel. Today as your host I will be bringing you my predictions for match day 2 of the Asian Cup. So let's get into the first game of the match day, Lebanon versus China. Lebanon had a few moments against Qatar, nothing really convincing even though Basham had some shaky moments. We saw as well that they set up in a 3-5-2, and when defending it went back to a 5-3-2. I don't imagine there's going to be a lot of goals in this game. Whilst China, on the other hand, I think they were very unfortunate to have a goal ruled out against Tajikistan, because I don't feel as though the Tajikistan defender, even though I think there was a bit of coming together between the two players on the line, I don't think the Tajikistani defender could have headed the effort that went into the back of the net. But China are the second favourites for this group for a reason. Their away form has developed well. It's going to be difficult to break down this Lebanon defence, but I think they've got enough. I'm going to go with a 1-0 win. Next, we look at Tajikistan versus Qatar. Tajikistan got a 0-0 draw against China, played okay. Qatar, on the other hand, I thought they did well against Lebanon. They took their goals really well. Afif had a fantastic game. Also, the second goal, great assist, which resulted in a very good header by Almos Ali. Qatar looked dangerous at points in the game, and this time they play at Al Bayt Stadium. I imagine Tajikistan might make a few less mistakes than Lebanon, but my thinking is Qatar have enough to get a 2-0 win. Now let's go to Group B. Syria versus Australia. Syria, very good performance against Uzbekistan, especially the midfield and defence. Forced Uzbekistan out wide a lot of the time. They come up against Australia, which they themselves had to work to get the victory and their goals against India. They're the favourites here. Matthew Leckie, of course, is missing the tournament. Jackson Irvine got the opening goal, and whilst the number 6, the young player, he certainly did make a bit of an impact coming on. Whether he'll start or not, that remains to be seen. When I think about this game and how it's going to turn out, I do think Australia's attack is better than what Uzbekistan have. So I was thinking another 2-0, but when I think about how Syria played and what they could do, I'm going to go with a 1-0. Or should I? No, I'll go 2-0 just about. Something similar to that India game. And now Uzbekistan versus India. Well, this is a game where I expect Uzbekistan will have the most chances. My thinking for this game, based on what I've seen, I'm going to say Uzbekistan get a 2-1 win. Now let's go to Group C. Palestine versus the United Arab Emirates. Well, Palestine, they'll be very happy to have got that goal against Iran. Played an okay second half. Pretty much most of the goals they conceded were down to Iran's sharpness, speed and quality. Qudus, of course, was very good. Up against the UAE, who, from what I heard, Hong Kong gave them a good game. This game I expect to be fairly tight. I expect UAE to probably have a better chance of winning. I certainly expect a lot of spirit and physicality and some good defending. Thinking is the UAE will win, but it will come as with just one goal. And Hong Kong versus Iran, certainly have got to reconsider Hong Kong when it comes to how good they're going to be. They ran in the UAE close until they started to put the game beyond reach. Of course, Qudus was excellent. Azmoun was clinical off the bench. Yakambash as well. I'm hoping to see Touaraimi step up as well. For this game, I'm gonna say 3-0. I might even go 4-0, because if they can do it against Palestine, then why not against Hong Kong? And yes, they did well against the UAE, but Iran have some very good clinical individual players, so I think they'll just about get a 4-0. Let's go to Group D next, where I probably should have done this game before the Iran game. Iraq versus Japan. Well, the Indonesia versus Iraq game was a good game. Both sides presented some very good opportunities, and Muhammad Ali was very good as well. But Japan, their attack looked good. I was surprised to see Doan on the bench. In fact, I predicted him to be either tournament's top goal scorer. And Minamino, not a player that's talked about often these days, got a first half brace. Fantastic third goal from Japan as well, one of the contenders for the goal of the tournament. Vietnam did have their moments, and Japan do need to address themselves defensively. I expect Japan to have most of the ball. I expect them to work Iraq a lot more than vice versa. They're going to have chances. And with the way Minamino's going and all the different options Japan have, I'm thinking this ends in a 2-0 victory. And now Vietnam versus Indonesia. Well, both sides gave some good games, and I'm expecting a close game here. But I am going to go over 2-1 to Vietnam, show that they can be clinical against even a top side. And the fact that Vietnam generally are better than Indonesia, so I've got Vietnam winning that. Next, we go to Group E, Jordan versus South Korea. Well, Jordan, great start, beating Malaysia 4-0. South Korea also got to a good start as well. The PSG player, I believe, is Ling. He scored 2 goals. Son was a playmaker as well. Bahrain had their moments, but we'll get to them soon. I didn't see much of a Jordan versus Malaysia game. Jordan certainly won't be as offensive on the front foot as they were against Malaysia, so they'll be sitting back a bit more. South Korea, I expect, will win this, and I'm going to go over a 2-0 victory. I don't necessarily expect them to score as many as they did last time, but I do think they'll at least have most of the chances. And when you've got Son and Hwang Hee-chang and Kim Min-jae at the back, that's going to take you a long way. And Bahrain versus Malaysia. Bahrain had some moments against South Korea, even got the equaliser. They've got some confidence to take into this game, and Malaysia conceding 4 to Jordan was a bad sign. Did Bahrain have it in them to make this one-sided? I'm not sure. I think Malaysia could maybe do something, but my thinking is I'm going for another 2-0 win. Group F. Oman versus Thailand. Well, Oman played a very good game against Saudi Arabia, especially in the first half. They got Saudi to change the plans, got them to fix up, and they come up against a Thailand team which won an important game against Kyrgyzstan, a game that I predicted correctly. Kyrgyzstan certainly, towards the end of the game, get some chances against Thailand. And I'm not sure if we've seen Thailand defensively tested that much. Oman, they don't need defensive as they were against Saudi Arabia, and even then they had chances of their own besides just the penalty kick. My thinking is they get at a 3-0 win here. This is the time for them to start a resurgence. And Kyrgyzstan versus Saudi Arabia. Well, Saudi Arabia didn't get off to a good start. They sort of found their way into the games, fixed up some issues in the midfield. They were having a few effort in the end of the first half. And then second half, it was looking concerning, and then a great solo equaliser. And after a few chances and a few more chances that were not very convincing, they have a moment offside. Then VAR intervenes, and when the referee revealed the decision, it wasn't exactly clear to all the fans which way he'd given it to. Both sides were celebrating in the stands until everyone realised what had actually happened. The craziness. That was possibly my favourite game of the tournament. In Kyrgyzstan, they lost to Thailand, and now they come up against Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia definitely will find it easier to create chances, I reckon. Do they have enough to make it at least 4? I'm not sure. but I do definitely think they'll win this game. I'll go 3-0. So there we have it. They're my predictions for all the games. What about you? The Asian Cup, I imagine by the time this video is uploaded, will be kicking off in a matter of hours. Let me know what you think. What's the game you're most looking forward to in this match day 2? And until next time, see you in the next video.